to another edition of the Contractors' Secret Weapon weekly podcast with your hosts, Dave Negri. This program is dedicated to helping contractors, remodelers, painters, roofers, roof cleaners, and business owners in the construction industry gain an unfair advantage over the competition. This program supplies you with information that the competition doesn't even know exists. This session brought to you by ContractorsSecretWeapon.com.
Before we get into the conversation with you, I just want to do a shout out to our sponsors who help promote Contractor Secret Weapon and just some of the things that they have in store for you, our listeners. Hey, is your phone ringing enough? Do you want it to ring more with highly motivated and qualified buyers that contact you, the contractor, directly? No more waiting for the phone to ring. Just answer that phone. Best Home Services leads are dedicated to making your phone ring with motivated buyers that call you directly. There's no obligation to talk with them. Just go to ContractorsSecretWeapon.com/money. Fill out the form to secure your discount on the setup fee. Do it today. This special will not last forever. Check them out at ContractorsSecretWeapon.com/money.
Running a small business is no easy task, and I should know because I had a service company for almost 10 years. I am the founder of a software called Radius Bomb, and it's unbelievable. And for all the listeners of Contractor Secret Weapon, we have a special offer for you to check out. If you want to send hyper-targeted, laser-focused, super personalized postcards to your exact prospects using a map while sitting in your underwear, then go to ContractorSecretWeapon.com/Radius Bomb, and we'll give you your first 100 postcards for free. Just go to ContractorSecretWeapon.com/Radius Bomb.
Hey, welcome again to Contractor Secret Weapon. This is Dave Negri, your host, and today I have AJ Wilcox. And I'm excited to have AJ on the show today because he is a longtime digital marketer who fell in love with LinkedIn ads platform back in 2011. Now, we've never had anybody on LinkedIn ads before, always Facebook ads and LinkedIn in general, but we've got AJ on to talk about LinkedIn advertising, and he founded B2LinkedIn.com, which specializes in LinkedIn ads, training, consulting, and account management. He's a triathlete, and his company car is a go-kart. I love that. He lives in Utah with his wife and his 4 kids. And today we're just going to talk about LinkedIn and how to advertise and some of the benefits for contractors where they can really take advantage of LinkedIn in growing their market. AJ, thanks so much for being with us today.
Oh, you're welcome, Dave, and thank you so much for the invite. I'm super excited to talk to your whole audience here.
Yeah, that's cool. And, like I said before, we've had people on about, Facebook advertising, but we've never, and it's really been in the back of my mind, like I said earlier, about LinkedIn advertising and how I know it's great for, business to business, but a lot of contractors that I know of do a lot of commercial work. So this could really fall into their ballpark, huh?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I think if you're in commercial, you're B2B, and LinkedIn is the king of B2B.
Yeah, and it's grown so much. There's so many changes that have happened. I mean, it's a whole different animal than just last year.
Yeah, I mean, even just in I'd say the last year, I've seen 2 UI refreshes on LinkedIn, and new features added, features taken away. Oh, you really got to work hard to keep up with everything.
Yeah, I'll bet. And I know they just added video, didn't they? That you could upload video, or is that it's still in the process?
Yes, at the time of recording, most people, if not all, should be able to post video themselves. What you don't have yet is the ability for a company to publish video or for an advertiser to run a video ad. So I'm still crossing my fingers for those ones.
No, they're holding you back. They should put you first.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Give us the ads first.
Come on, it's all about revenue, isn't it, for them?
It really should be.
It should be. They act like it is. Okay, so LinkedIn advertising. I know, like I said, it's been on the forefront of my mind lately. So I'm probably not the only guy thinking about this. And I know, like I said, I've been looking at my Facebook stuff and the likes and all that stuff, and then I've been looking at the LinkedIn and the people that have said, will you join my network? Can I join your network? Whatever the case may be. And I'm looking at the two, and I'm getting, I'm trying, I think on the LinkedIn side, like you said a few minutes ago, it's a different mindset, isn't it?
Absolutely. I think there are two things that really set LinkedIn and Facebook apart, and they're both very, very good platforms for different things. I think there's a data difference, and I think there's a mindset difference. So we'll cover from the data side, when you very first set up your LinkedIn profile, LinkedIn is asking you things about who you are professionally, and those are the first things that you put in. Meanwhile, on Facebook, Facebook is asking you personal things, and you've got to be really diligent to get all the way to the end where it starts asking you work things, and you're going to fill those things out on your profile. So that's a difference in the data. Facebook has your personal data, not necessarily your business, okay. And LinkedIn vice versa. On the mindset difference, what I tend to find is that when you're on LinkedIn, you're either thinking about your work or your career. And so when you can give someone an offer that augments one of those two things, you're going to get a really good response rate. Versus on Facebook, most of the executives that are on Facebook, they're trying to look at their pictures of grandkids or run to go like blow off some steam playing a game of Farmville or something. So big differences in the way that people actually interact with the platform, even if it's the same person on both.
So basically, in a sense that LinkedIn people, when you're on there, you're looking for business type information. But if you put business type information in Facebook and you do it improperly, now you're a disruptive marketer.
That's exactly right. It's so much easier to play into the strengths of a network than try to break people out of their current mindset and into yours.
Cool. So what are some of the things that you found that help your customers become better marketers on LinkedIn?
Well, I think the biggest piece of it is that because advertising on LinkedIn is technically what we call a display ad, so it's something that someone is not actively searching for, the mind shift that you have to make going into any kind of social ad really is not a sales aspect like most people think of when they think marketing, but it has to go to more of a consultative, helpful nature. And what I mean by that is if you show an ad on LinkedIn that just says, here's our phone number, call us and we'll give you a quote, no one in the world is going to click on that ad because they're so happy surfing around in relative anonymity, and the prospect of hopping on the phone with someone and getting a sales pitch is like, whoa, you're asking too much. It's like asking for marriage on the first date. So what we do instead is we ask for some lighter commitment up front. Here is a free white paper to download. Here's a guide, a cheat sheet. Join this free webinar, something just to start engaging them.
Yeah.
And when someone approaches LinkedIn advertising or any kind of social advertising, if they're thinking about it from the how can I be helpful standpoint, I think that changes everyone's thinking in marketing.
Well, I love that. How can I be helpful? And the other, when I started laughing a minute ago when you said, they're asking you for marriage on the first date. Well, it's a new platform with the LinkedIn emails. What people are really starting to take advantage of that, and they're just sending out stupid emails. Let's put it that way. And they're asking to be married on the first date instead of trying to, like, I got one the other day, and we'll protect the innocent or not so innocent. And they go, hey, this is the third time we try to get a hold of you, and we'd really like to meet with you. Is Tuesday or Thursday better? We'd like to talk to you about 3 or 4 o'clock. And I go, golly, give me a break. So I emailed them back, and I said, listen, I appreciate your email. And I said, but you know what you're doing? I said, your approach is you're trying to marry me on the first date. and I said, now, if you're getting really good results from this, then keep it up. But if you're not, let me know. I'll coach you on how to get better results in less time. And of course, I do that a lot with a lot of guys because there's a way to do it, and it is. I mean, on one of the businesses that I have that we do a lot with realtors. Also, I have another business with my wife and daughter, and so I put together a PDF. Basically, is 15. Most used apps by top producing realtors. And I put a PDF, I put it together with clickable links to all these awesome apps. But in the bottom, there's, our website to go to and, a place for our education page and our downloadable app. And, I'll just send it out. Say, hey, listen, I got this great tool that we put together for you. Just a gift, no email needed. Just let me know what you think about these tools that we put together for you and send it out. Because everything comes back to me if they like it.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think there's so many marketers out there willing to willy-nilly hit the send button and send out spam. But when you reach out and say, look, you're doing it wrong, how many of them are willing to put their tail between their legs and admit when they're wrong and could do better? Oh, there's an ego problem, I think.
Well, yeah, I know. And I don't expect any of them to reply back. But maybe they'll think about, well, what do I need to do right? Yeah, I understand that for sure. I'm not going to let anybody know that I'm wrong. I'm wrong a lot, dude.
Oh, I think we all are.
Yeah.
Every entrepreneur is wrong probably half the time.
So now one of the things that, and I liked about, some of the things you were talking about before is I know there's a big thing about AdWords and a big thing about, Facebook ads. Now, how does the Google platform, or not the Google, but the LinkedIn platform work in maybe being a little bit better, or maybe not necessarily better, but depending on the results you want, work out better than the pay-per-click?
I think this is really important to understand, because if you understand the strengths and weaknesses of every platform, you can see what's best in your given situation. I think I grew up in digital marketing with everyone telling me that AdWords was the answer to everything. And then as soon as I found out about LinkedIn ads, I went, oh, there are all these differences. So I'll share with you what I've learned.
Okay, great.
On Google AdWords, on Bing Ads, and with search engine optimization, or SEO, those three channels are what we call search. And search is really, really good for someone who's actively looking for something. So for instance, you can bid on a keyword and say, anytime someone goes and types the keyword commercial painting contractor into Google, I want my ad to show up and I want that person as a lead. And that's really interesting, especially if what you have is something that already has some search demand behind it. However, what I found is when I started running a whole bunch of both Google ads and LinkedIn ads to a sales team, the sales team would give me certain feedback. About AdWords ads, they would say specifically, hey, thank you for these leads. They are super hot, because people are obviously looking for them. Sure. But they always follow it up with a but. But is there any way that we can qualify these guys a little bit more? Because we're talking to the CEO of these companies, we're talking to the proverbial janitor, and everyone in between. Is there a way that we could maybe qualify these guys and talk to only the directors or the VPs or the C-level people?
Yeah.
And the answer is no, you can't with Google AdWords. They don't have that kind of audience level data. But then you look at LinkedIn, and it's completely the opposite. You lose the ability to target someone by what they're looking for currently, but what you do gain is the ability to understand, are they the right person to make the decision, and can they afford my product or service? And you know that if what you sell is really expensive, there are certain sizes of companies who they're just going to be too small to afford you. Versus if you sell something that's really inexpensive, you don't want to offer that to the big guys because they're already paying your biggest competition. Right. So those are the big differences that I found, and a really good reason for I think any business to be running both a little bit of search and a little bit of social, so that you can get both the intent and the ability to purchase.
Right. Well, that makes it a very interesting thing when you say you can target the size of a company or and stuff like that. So as we talked about a little bit earlier about there's a lot of contractors, and especially in the mobile cleaning and stuff like that, like window washers and pressure cleaners and even commercial contractors that could use a LinkedIn to build relationships with people who are in the commercial industries, whether they be high-rise apartments or whether they be owners of hospitals or stuff like that. This would be a perfect venue to build that type of relationship, wouldn't it?
I absolutely agree with that. And it's really interesting to understand that On LinkedIn, companies are very weak and people are strong. It's very rare when I'm looking down my feed and I see a company sharing something with a ton of likes and a ton of comments, but I see posts from people all the time. So first and foremost, remember that when you go to connect with someone that you'd like to do business with, it's sending a connection request is a very small introductory step to getting in touch with them, and a very frictionless kind of process. And it's a great place to start to get to know someone. And then once you're connected, they see the things that are in your feed whenever they're on LinkedIn. So it's really easy for you to stay top of mind by just posting and sharing. They may not need a commercial Windows person right now, but if you keep appearing in their feed, when they do, you're going to be the first one they think of.
Right, because you're going to be top of mind.
Exactly.
That's pretty cool. So and I love the way LinkedIn works in a sense. If correct me if I'm wrong, I know with Facebook, you can post stuff and it only goes out to a certain percentage of people, like 5, maybe 10%. And you could have 20,000 people, so whatever the case may be. But on LinkedIn, if you like something or share something, it goes to all of their people, doesn't it?
If you would have asked me this about 2 months ago, I would have said, absolutely, that's true. But I've recently found out, and I don't know how recently LinkedIn has implemented this, but they now throttle shares based off of some different elements.
Okay.
So what I'm pulling from here, there's a podcast called LinkedIn Influence, I think it is. It's by a guy named, I
can picture him. I know who you're talking about.
Williams is his last name.
Okay.
Anyway, he does this, and I'm actually going to look it up right now. He does a podcast all about the organic side of LinkedIn. So I play in the advertising side. He plays in the organic side. And he was talking and sharing about this podcast, and what he said was that he's done a whole lot of experimentation where he'll write shares, like he'll post something that's just words, and he'll see what kind of interactions it gets and how many people end up seeing it. And then he'll post something that's a picture with words and see what it gets. And then he'll post something with a link out. And what he noticed is anytime that you link out somewhere, you're going to get maybe a fifth, an eighth the traffic that you would have gotten if you would have done something without a link.
Because they don't want you leaving LinkedIn.
Exactly. That's exactly right.
That's basically the same reason for what they did with Facebook, is they don't want you to link out, so it costs you more for ads.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
So, Mark Williams is his name, and definitely go check out his podcast. It's called LinkedIn Formed.
Okay, cool. I'll write that down. Yeah, so that's pretty cool that someone has taken the time to figure that out and figure out what works. So when let's go to your business. You have an ad agency, and it says you do LinkedIn ads training also too, consulting. So do you do both? You'll work with people and help them get up and going, or you'll do it for them. Is that true?
Yeah, exactly. My story was I started out. I found myself in a position where I had more experience using LinkedIn ads than anyone else on the planet. Uh-huh. And when I started thinking, okay, what can I do with this skill? Like, I just want to go out there and share. An ad agency was the only way that I could think of to share my talent and experiences with as many people as possible. So I essentially started B2 Link as a way of saying, hey, anyone who needs help with LinkedIn ads, we want to be the company that helps you out. If you need help running the account because you don't have the resources to do it internally, great, we'll do that. If you have the resources and just not the know-how, we want you to hire us to come in and train your team. So
cool.
Literally anything, auditing, whatever around LinkedIn ads, we want to be there.
Cool, yeah. And like I said, I have not heard of anyone who does LinkedIn marketing. So I think most people are afraid of it.
I agree with that. I mean, everyone will tell you, everyone for the last 12 years has been saying that Google AdWords was the absolute silver bullet. And then for the last 5 years, it's all been Facebook ads is the silver bullet. And I think I've been the lone voice in the wilderness crying out saying, hey, LinkedIn's great. Yeah. But I know people are catching up.
And like you said before, each platform has its good things for good things, for certain things. And I'm, I know right now, and I'm not going to really go into it too much, but I see a big arena opening up for Google pay-per-click for mobile.
Oh, absolutely.
Especially for the contractor industry, because now it's instant. You're getting instant gratification, which most people love anyways. Everybody wants instant pudding; they want to wait. But with the LinkedIn, I think you get pretty much gratification too, in the sense of building the relationships, or what do you see working the best for your clients?
I found, so we've run hundreds of accounts and spent over $100 million on ads with the sole purpose of understanding, okay, what works, what doesn't work. And we found 3 areas that work really, really well with LinkedIn ads. So number 1 is going to be high value, high ticket business-to-business lead gen. So this would be like your contractors who, when they score a bid, they're going to earn $250,000 over the next 6 months, fulfilling on that bid. Number 2 is if you're doing white collar job recruiting. So if you're looking for a new marketing manager or a new sales guy, you can advertise to people who already have those job titles in your area, and then the resumes that you get are people who already have that experience, and they're super eager to find out, hey, someone wants me, like, what am I worth? And then the third is higher education. If you know of an